Just like we needed to know how to simplify our radicals, we also need to know how to simplify our rational exponents. This is actually playing on a skill that you learned in Math 8, so in 8th grade, okay? If you don't remember the skills, we're still going to be using them. We're just going to be dealing with the rational exponents instead of integers. So this is nothing new. It's just we're dealing with these fractions instead of integers. So here's an example. If I had x to the 1/2 times x to the 3/2. When we multiply our common bases, we're going to add the exponents. So this becomes x to the 1/2 plus 3/2. And with fractions, when we add fractions or subtract, they have to have a common denominator. Lucky for this example, they do. So this becomes 1 plus 3, 4 over 2. In other words, this is x squared. So when we're multiplying our common bases, we're going to add the exponents. So I'm going to write that here. When we multiply common bases, the base here is x. X is the base, 1/2 is the power, or the exponent. So when we multiply common bases, we are going to add the exponents. Okay, so we'll look at an example that's a little bit harder. This one, let's go ahead and do y to the 4/5 times y to the 2/3. So y to the 4/5 times y to the 2/3. We're going to add the exponents because we're multiplying our common bases here. So that's going to give me 4/5 plus 2/3. But if we're going to add fractions, we have to have a common denominator. So I'm going to make my 4/5, I'm going to multiply it by 3. And my 2/3, I'm going to multiply that by 5. So now I'm looking at 12/15 plus 10/15. So I made it so they were both over 15. So now I have 12 plus 10, which is 22 over 15. And I simplified that exponent by adding or multiplying the bases, adding the exponents. So the only thing that's going to change with division is when we divide, we subtract. So when we are dividing common bases, we are going to subtract the exponents. Only change. Multiply means add, divide means subtract the exponents. Okay, so let's take a look. So let's say this example, I have m to the 1/3 divided by m. Remember, when there's no exponent given, that exponent is an applied 1. So this is m to the 1/3 divided by m to the 1st. So that's going to be m to the 1/3 minus 1. So I'm dividing by that m to the 1st, so I'm subtracting 1. I need a common base, so I'm going to change my 1. I'm going to multiply it by 3 over 3. So now I have 1/3 minus 3/3, which is going to give me m to the negative 2/3. For now, I'm going to leave that as a negative exponent, but in a future video, I'm going to show you what to do with that one. But right now, we're good, okay? So again, to subtract, 1/3 minus 1, I got a common denominator, and I'm left with m to the negative 2/3. So let's look at one more. Let's do m to the 3/4 divided by m to the 1/2. So m to the 3/4 divided by m to the 1/2, that's going to be the same as m to the 3/4 minus 1/2. Divide the common bases, I'm going to subtract the exponents. Here I'm going to get a common denominator. So I'm looking at 3/4 minus 2/4. So m to the 1/4 is my resulting statement, expression. Okay, multiply the common bases, add the exponents. Divide common bases, subtract the exponents. You've seen this before, it's just new with fractions. If you've got questions, let me know.